and salutations, it's me, Christopher Daniels. And for this week's Throwback Thursday, we go all the way back to 2010. I returned to Ring of Honor, and my first opponent, Mr. Wrestling himself, Kevin Steen.
A little over 6 years ago, I met the fallen angel, Christopher Daniels, for the very first time. The date was April 10, 2004. I remember like it was yesterday, because it was the first time, the very first time, that a wrestler from the United States, not just a wrestler from the States, but one of the very best in the United States, came to our territory, Quebec, to wrestle the top guy there, which of course was me. And you know, I had a lot to prove that night. You know, I made many a sacrifice to get that match. And I always remember your look, Chris, when you saw my name on the lineup sheet next to yours. You had like that little smirk, you know? I could tell, like, you just thought I was some punk kid. And a lot of people, of course, agree with you. But what happened that night? Against all odds, that punk kid was victorious. Now fast forward 6 years later, May 7, 2010, which by the way just happens to be my birthday. And also marks my 10-year anniversary of my wrestling career. My very first match I had on my 16th birthday in 2000. Well, it seems only appropriate that I wrestle you. Because you see, you were my very first big-time match. So you know what? To celebrate those 10 years, you know, a great 10-year career, it seems appropriate that I would beat you again. You see, Chris, there's no denying that Kevin Steen is on victory road. There's no denying Kevin Steen is bound for glory. Oh yeah. A fallen angel makes his big return to Ring of Honor. And Kevin Steen sends him right back where he belongs. See you in the ring. Bound for glory.
Contenders, but he's never held that title. That's one of his main goals here in his return as Kevin Steen jump-starts this matchup with Daniels' back turned, and that's more on the lines of how Kevin Steen thinks.
And Christopher Daniels has had many opportunities to become ROH World Champion, just never was able to pull out that key victory to bring the title to his camp. And maybe he feels in 2010 it's going to be possible, and we will see history made. One of the founding fathers become ROH World Champion finally.
And keep in mind, this is a pick six matchup between Steen and the fallen angel, Christopher Daniels. Steen is currently ranked number 2, so Daniels can head right to the top of the pack with a victory here. And Steen hasn't even...
He was appreciative. He was trying to go for that.
Yeah, really. Steen really hadn't even done much with his pick six spot because he's been so focused in restoring Cabana and Generico, which he still is. We just saw him getting involved unprovoked with Colt Cabana in our last matchup.
I love his attitude, denying them of another snapmare.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Not even going to touch on his remarks towards our referee, Beretta. Kevin Steen, that shows you the state of mind he is in right now. He is a very, very dangerous man in so many different ways, and I hope that Christopher Daniels has read up and researched what Kevin Steen's been about.
Christopher Daniels is a man that does his homework before returning to Ring of Honor. You know, he's been keeping his eyes on things, though he may have been focused on things elsewhere in professional wrestling the past couple of years. You know, he's a student of the game. He knows what's been going on, who's on the roster right now, and who he needs to target in order to get himself in the proper position to go for the title.
Well, Daniels' first target was Davey Richards, the Big Bang in Charlotte. Took offense when Richards said he was the best in the world. Daniels certainly feels that he himself is worthy of that accolade, and we will not see Daniels meet Davey Richards tomorrow night, but we will see Daniels meet the American Wolf tag team partner of Richards while Davey is touring New Japan Pro Wrestling. It's Daniels and Eddie Edwards, the reigning TV champion, and that's tomorrow night in New York.
Come back, off the ropes he comes, he gets met with the drop kick. flurry of them now from the Fallen Angel.
Well, Kevin Steen, about my last choice to be head of a welcoming committee, and Christopher Daniels knows that. Daniels has to wrestle very smart, has to be very cautious when it comes to Kevin Steen because he is so unpredictable. But right now, the veteran, the Fallen Angel, is on top of the situation.
Some very opinionated fans here in Manassas. But it is all about Ring of Honor. It's great to have Christopher Daniels back in action here. We had some fantastic matches in ROH's history, some of the most memorable bouts during the first several years that this organization existed. And it's going to be great to see him do battle with some of the current stars that he maybe has never had the opportunity to see battle anywhere in pro wrestling in the past.
Series of arm drags by Daniels. Rapid fire on Steen. The much larger Steen, obviously. It's going to take the wind out of Mr. Wrestling early and allow Daniels to dictate this pace of this match for the long term. Smart veteran move by the man of over a decade in the game in the Fallen Angel.
He does have a lot of wisdom of years of professional wrestling under his belt, a world-traveled athlete himself. Truly one of the best in the business today.
Who could forget the havoc Daniels caused in the early years of Ring of Honor with the prophecy, with all of Daniels' other endeavors. But as we mentioned, never captured the big world championship.
Can he take him off his feet with the shoulder tackle?
That's another good question.
Steen holding his ground yet again.
Again, Steen, the bigger of the two. Daniels has to use his mind, trying to knot up that thigh muscle to take Steen off balance and then connect with a shoulder tackle. Smart move by the Fallen Angel.
Standing on the back of his neck.
And again, Daniels one step ahead. Steen was setting up for something, but Daniels didn't want to wait around and find out what it was.
Into the turnbuckle goes Kevin Steen. I'm a little bit surprised that Christopher Daniels has been able to maintain control of this matchup for such a period of time thus far, because Kevin Steen has had that killer instinct the past several months that has really brought out the best in him, and right there was able to elevate Christopher Daniels to the floor, and just that quickly, we can see the tide of this match turn back into the favor of Mr. Wrestling.
This is the first big test in Christopher Daniels' Ring of Honor return right now. First big test in this match is that unceremonious fall to the outside, because Kevin Steen knows how to use his surroundings to its advantage. Shoulder first, Daniels goes. Daniels has a history of shoulder problems throughout his career. Steen knows this. I'm sure Carino knows this and has told Steen. And again, that is not a rounded steel ring post. It has edges on it. That has points that can dig into your skin.
He's going to focus on that body part. We saw that Kevin Steen knows how to use his surroundings to his advantage in that street fight in Chicago. All four men involved in that matchup did a very good job of using whatever they could get their hands on to brutalize their opponent.
Daniels hits the guardrail. We saw Steen nearly paralyze El Generico at one point on that scaffolding, but Generico came back, got a measure of revenge. Not over yet, but Kevin Steen, always unpredictable, bringing that same sick mentality, that same on-edge state of mind to this matchup and to Christopher Daniels.
To a count of 14, now biting the shoulder. Doing whatever it takes to inflict punishment.
I didn't bite him. I was kissing him.
He was kissing.
He was not. Not that I would put that past Kevin Steen either. And Kevin Steen always talks about love and how he loves everybody and he's everybody's friend. But yeah, that's far from the truth. Kevin Steen doesn't know what it's like to love anymore. He doesn't know what it's like to feel remorse or sympathy or compassion. That part of Steen.
Those are bold statements that you're making. You don't know what's going through Kevin Steen's mind.
I don't want to know what's going through Kevin Steen's mind. All the positives of Kevin Steen have been killed off and done away with by Steve Carino.
I think it's just brought out the mean streak in Kevin Steen, and it's what's going to lead him to great success in a singles career in professional wrestling, something that he could have never enjoyed while he had El Generico weighing him down in that tag team.
Well, will Kevin Steen be weighed down by the onslaught of Colt Cabana tomorrow night, Supercard of Honor? We will see as that issue continues. El Generico, Steve Corino, not scheduled to be a part of that matchup, but you know they will be there in spirit. They will be closely watching on, and you see Steen once again wrenching that arm and shoulder.
That's why they call him Mr. Wrestling. He's picking apart that one body part, did damage right there with a variation of the Russian leg sweep of the arm trapped. And world of pain right now for the Fallen Angel, trying to battle through that injury, continue to fight here.
Very true. Steen knows how to inflict pain and suffering. And Daniels again hits that ring post and again finds himself on the outside. And what condition will that shoulder be in leading into a match with Eddie Edwards, another man who knows how to pick apart the anatomy?
Horrible condition. I think that Eddie Edwards will have the brains to capitalize on the injury.
Obviously, the Daniels-Edwards match will not be part of the 10-minute hunt for the TV title contendership rankings, but still, arguably even greater stakes are in that matchup as Daniels attempts to work his way to Davey Richards and attempts to work his way into the pick six right now. But again, just wrenched off of the top rope, arm first. Could do it. No, Daniels still has the leg strength to kick out and survive.
Daniels was taking a risk, and Kevin Steen saw it, grabbed hold of him, and dropped him down from the top rope across the top with the arm. And more damage was done, and now right in the middle of the ring, you know, as sadistic and twisted and everything you say that Kevin Steen is, he still is a fantastic professional wrestler. Hold for hold, move for move, picking apart one particular body part on his opponent to try to get a submission victory. There's a reason he's called Mr. Wrestling.
Variation of a key lock now, a top wrist lock by Steen on Daniels. Daniels needs to find a way to regroup Steen over top of Daniels, making Daniels carry all of Steen's body weight, just driving it down into that arm and shoulder. If Daniels can get to the vertical base, that'll alleviate a lot of this pain. That's step one, now to break the contact. He looks to have done that as well. Daniels went to charge in, but got caught with a power.
Huge power bomb. And now quickly to the top, great balance shown by Steen.
That's impressive. I will give credit there. That's very impressive. But the knees of Christopher Daniels meet the downfall of Kevin Steen.
The back of Kevin Steen. He's in a world of pain himself right now. This is giving Christopher Daniels some time to try to pull it together, get the energy to get back to his feet, and maybe try to follow up. Double count administered by the ref.
Daniels can barely move that left arm and shoulder, but it's not going to stop him from fighting. Thankfully for Daniels, he is right-handed. But even still, in a slugfest, with what we've seen from Steen lately, it's hard to bet against him.
This is quite the slugfest. Both been staying on their feet, though.
Daniels.
Flurry from Daniels.
An offensive explosion, the open hand palm strikes, the back body drop, the drop kick. Daniels has found renewed life. The second burst of adrenaline, as they say. And it's working here. The STO takedown, the cover, 2.5.
Waiting for the right moment to strike. Steen trying to pull himself back up to his feet.
Enziguri connects, and whether it was momentum or resourcefulness, either way, Steen finds his way to the outside. Daniels, Arabian moonsault, connects beautifully. And the Fallen Angel lands on his feet.
Beautiful maneuver from Christopher Daniels, but he needs to make sure that Kevin Steen can't do any further damage to the shoulder. All Steen needs to do is get one more opening to go after that body part, maybe lock in a submission hold, and it could be curtains for the Fallen Angel team.
Daniels with a clothesline from the top. Could this do it? Reaches back to hook the leg, but Steen is still able to escape. You imagine Daniels qualifying for Pick 6, just his first matchup back. That could be a reality here. He's going for the Angels wins. That's a big load, though. Steen's a big man, especially with the injured shoulder, and that may have been the factor.
Yeah, I should have just gone for last rights.
And the cannonball connects.
Cover.
Steen may have him, and Daniels, injured shoulder and all, able to creep it off of the canvas.
Daniels doing everything that he can to try to keep Steen away from that arm.
Drop down, face first goes Steen with a flatliner and another near fall situation. Daniels left that right side of Steen exposed. And Daniels looks to the corner. Could only mean one thing, if he can get Steen in proper position.
Unless he decides to drop an elbow or something. Could mean various things. But right now it is, oh, crossface. With the damage done to that shoulder, this could be a very bad situation for Christopher Daniels. He could be forced to tap.
That could tear the shoulder out of the socket. Daniels may have no choice but to tap for his own health. Keep in mind Eddie Edwards in one night.
He reaches the ropes, and Steen taking full advantage of the referee's count.
Desperation maneuver by Daniels, the ring positioning the only thing that may have kept him alive in this match in this weekend. But Steen is relentless.
Package pile driver coming up.
Steen smelled blood with the Fallen Angel counter. Sweeping the leg. Daniels went for that Uranagi, but again, Steen, and the referee's down. Daniels accidentally making contact with Todd Sinclair, and that collision led Steen to hitting the DDT.
And with the referee down, Kevin Steen out to the floor.
Oh no.
Grabbing hold of a chair. He knows how to put that to.
Intimidating our staff as well.
It's just Bobby Fish.
And there's no personal animosity here between Steen and Daniels. It's all about Pick 6. It's all professional. But even still, Steen wants to stoop to these means.
Hey, what's Cabana doing out here?
Cabana's here to save Daniels. Not going to let him, but
the referee's not going to let Cabana interfere in this matchup with a steel chair.
Well, that's the right call by the referee, but Kevin Steen was in the wrong to attempt to seriously injure the Fallen Angel. And why?
He didn't seriously injure anyone.
That was an attempt. Exactly.
Well, we're getting the referee and Cabana out of the ring, thankfully. Oh!
Daniels, does he have Steen? Off balance, hit the Uranagi. BME, the best moonsault ever. Daniels with a cover, and Daniels is in Pick 6.